Good morning, everyone. Welcome to WxLive webinar number 134. This morning we have Dell. He's going to be presenting some Wx20 features. He's been testing Wx20 in French now for a few days or so, and he's going to show us some of the things that he has found to be interesting. And by the way, today is Friday, December the 19th, 2014. It's all yours, Ben.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you for that introduction. I've been playing around with WINDEV and WEBDEV20 for 2 days, more or less, and I thought it would be a nice idea to end the year with WebDev and WinDev20 fresh in people's minds. I'm sure a lot of other people has also played with it, and they might have had more experience with it than I have, but this morning we're going to discuss my experiences on it. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to quickly show some of the issues I've picked up, new things like drivers, templates, and so on. Then I'm going to go through some of the interfaces on the products, and then I'm going to show 2 or 3 new controls, and then how you can use WinDev and WebDev20, even though the English version is not out yet. How to translate the help and how to translate the code so that you can actually play around with it. I must mention, I've spoken earlier to Jerome. Jerome has said that anybody purchasing now will get a free upgrade to version 20. So if you upgrade from 17 or 18 to 19, you will get your upgrade to 20 when it becomes available. He is also not against the idea that English people use the French version to familiarize themselves with the version 20. So anybody that wants to purchase, they can go ahead and purchase. Okay, first thing that Andy said to us, he likes the background in version 20. Nice black background with a 20 on there. From the interface side, not much has changed other than things seem to have flattened a bit. PCSoft seems to be starting to use flat icons a bit more in their product, and it actually looks very nice. I'm going to go ahead here and let's quickly go through my little list here. The first thing I want to do is to actually go to my disk and go and look at my disk spaces being used. If we go and we look at WinDev20's installation, and we go and do we go and play around in the WinDev20 installation, we will notice that there's 2 new frameworks which is not in 19, which is called libwin32 and libwin64. I'm not sure what that is. I am hoping it's the ability for us to do standard Windows DLLs. I'm hoping. I'm not saying it is. I've got no idea what it is, but it's definitely 2 new frameworks which is in the system. From the WinDev side, I haven't picked up any new templates as per this release. But if we go and look at the WebDev side, let me just get to it. Which is it now? If your English is as good as my French, then you know we always struggle to find this stuff. Anybody? There are 2 new templates in the WebDev side. There we go. KOWII and Willy. So there are two new templates on the WebDev side, which is included in this release. When we talk about this release, we are talking about a release called 41K, which came out on the 15th of this month. Okay, this is also the first release that's got a full a list of examples included in it. Okay, so if we go and we open up something, you will notice that the pop-up menu for looking at your current projects and your examples has changed a bit. It actually looks very nice. So if I close this, and I just want to start this from scratch so you can see it. It is so nice. When you open it up, it looks like this. And when
Ben,
you...
Hey Ben, just one moment, please.
Yes.
I'm getting a number of questions here from people saying that they are not hearing any audio.
Interesting. Are you hearing me?
I hear you just fine. And Andy is waving, but his microphone is muted.
I'm waving at the guy from France.
Oh. Hello, Mark. Hello, Mark. How are you?
I cannot hear you.
Okay. Sorry, Ben. Go ahead and talk. I'll try to figure out this audio problem on this side.
Okay, but the recording will have the audio in it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a very nice interface, and when you click on something, it obviously opens up very nicely. And you can see what I mean with they are flattening the interface. It's starting to look very nice. Something similar to Windows 10 or Windows 8.1. So that's very nice. Okay, so we've got 2 templates in the WebDev, 0 new templates in WINDEV for now. I'm not saying that that's going to stay like that. And then we've got the LibWin framework, which wasn't in the system previously. And I'm hoping that that's something which is of use to us. Okay. When we're working with a product, and I'm just going to open it here. There are some changes to the desk to the control panel here. I haven't got all the details on the changes, but I can see something looks a little bit different. But one of the very, very nice things which we've been waiting for quite a while, which has come in this version, is the following. And I've got to show this to you by minimizing
Ben.
My product a little bit.
Hey, Ben. People are now saying that they can hear, so that's good. But they are asking if it's possible to make the screen any bigger.
Let's see. If I switch my resolution.
That looks a little better.
Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to make my screen full size. I'm going to take it off like that. Now what happens here is I've got, let's say for instance, I've got a window here. I open my window and it's sitting there. Now we all know we want to work with the control or the source. Now go to code and it replaces the window. And you've got to switch between the two to get to where you want to go to. Something very nice, you can take this window here and drag it and it detaches out of the IDE and you can actually dump it right next to the IDE. Which means that you've got your code window here inside the IDE, and you've got your interface window outside the IDE. You could also take your code window and drag it and dump it outside the IDE, which means that you could theoretically have all of your editors outside the IDE, which allows you a nice interface like this where you could work, and if you go to code there, it goes back there. If you go to code there, it's there, and you can work with it directly.
That means I'm going to have to get more screens.
Yes, definitely. It does work across multiple screens. You can drag it back into the, let me just get this here. You can drag it back into the area, or you can just close it and it goes back into the area. So that's one of the really neat functions for me. My next best choice would be if we could do it inside this area here, where we could have screens together next to each other. I'm not sure what you call it, but instead of
having... You can't do windows? Go up there and click on the deal and make them multiple windows? Yes,
but they don't latch, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
In the dashboard style.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the dashboard style.
Yeah, now WINDEV does realize any feature that they put in their own IDE must also be a programming feature in the development.
Okay, it's actually very good that you say that, because have a look at this. Have a look at this. And I'm just first going to test it, and then you can have a look at that. Look at this. There is my ability to add tabs, and I can take that tab and drag him off, and it's sitting outside. This is now runtime within. This is now runtime within my program.
Yeah, I had to do that the hard way.
So Andy, they've listened to you, eh?
Well, I don't.
Okay, so
yeah, I doubt that. I'll take it.
Okay, and how they're doing that? How they're doing that? It's your standard tab control.
Right.
When you go to your details, they've got an MDI option there, which you can switch on and off, and there's obviously a few other issues or other settings you can set there.
Cool.
Like, for instance, the ability to create more tabs or inherit tabs or remember their position and so on. But yes, so whatever they do in the IDE, they tend to start giving it to us as well. So congrats, PCSoft, I love it. Okay, so that's actually just gone a bit forward from where I wanted to be.
Sorry.
But while we're at, no, it's fine, it's fine. While we're at this point, let's quickly look at two other controls as well. The first control some of the people have seen is the map control. The map control is sitting somewhere along here, and you just drop it onto your window. If you drop the map control onto your window, what happens, instead of it displaying blank when your program runs, it actually starts focusing on France. Okay, so whenever you haven't done anything with your map control, it's focusing on France. And you guys will notice it's not a snapshot of the Google map, like getting a tile like the old system. This is a live map interfacing with Google Maps, and you can zoom in on it, and you can do all of the other nice little things that you can do with a standard Google Map control. And this is for WinDev, WebDev, and WinDev Mobile. Then what you can do is you can apply all the other you can apply all the other commands to it like you would normally. So let's quickly go ahead and do that. So it opens up in France, and then I'm telling it to go to my hometown, and it centers on my hometown. So when I do this, you will see that it's actually zooming into my hometown, Heidelberg, and it will take whatever Google decides is the center of my hometown. So what I can then do is, okay, so what we will say is we go to Heidelberg, then we will go to the Eiffel Tower, and then what we will do is create a path between Montpellier and Paris. So let's go ahead and do that. So if I press this button, it will zoom to my hometown, then to France, and then it will go and create. Now that was a bit fast, but there you can see it's creating a route for us. So the second thing which I'm going to do is I'm going to add a second route, and that second route will be from Paris to South Africa. We go ahead and do that, and there we see there's two routes, the one inside France and the one from France to South Africa. So, and that's brilliant in my books.
Easy peasy.
We don't have to have all this code of setting a zoom level and getting another PNG or JPEG map from Google and display it. We're integrating into the big leagues with the other Google guys.
To me, they've done a very good job of integrating a lot of items within Google. I think that's one of the shining points of what PCSoft has done with the system.
You gotta love it. It's so simple. You just 4 lines of code.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
There's obviously a lot more that can be done with it. And while we're at this point, let's quickly look at the code. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, this code here is in French, but I can go and there's a thing that says convert the code. I click on it and I convert the code to English, which can be only my current code or a whole page or the project or whatever. So I'm just going to convert this code into English, and I've got my English code, and it will compile and run with it. So let's quickly check that out. And if I press that, it still does the same thing. So
okay,
within here,
yes. As one question, Ben, I'm sorry, just to kind of make you jump just a little. I'm sorry, and maybe Jerome would have to answer this. Does this same item work in the mobile? Does it work the same in mobile, or is it restricted?
Jerome can answer that, but what I've seen is that it works in all 3 products.
Okay.
Hey, and Ben, zoom in on your code just a little bit, please.
Okay.
All right, that looks good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make sure that it also worked in the mobile as well, the same way with the page add itinerary, map itinerary.
We can check that out quickly. I've created a mobile app. No, that's going to take us too long. We've got a time restriction.
Whenever you get time.
Yeah.
Whenever you get time.
Yeah. No, we've got a time restriction.
No, we're cool.
In any case, okay. So what we do then obviously is we go and we can translate our code, their example code, into English. If we take this procedure calls and we press our help button on that, and mine opens up in a different window, it takes us to the version 20 French help file. But because we are all lovers of Google and all things Google, the only thing you have to do is right-click and translate to English. And for people that can't see it, there's the map, there's the help file translated into English.
And
Now,
voila, that's what PCsoft does, I suppose, too, to get your Fringlish.
I don't know. But if we then go and look at, let's say, for instance, at all the other procedures which is available, let's see, field management functions. Okay, let's go look there. That is now the map itself, the control, and so if we want to manipulate it by programming, we can go, let's translate this into English, and there it tells us what we can do from W language functions wise with the map control.
Just go to the top, Ben. That should show if it's mobile compatible.
There it does. It's mobile.
Okay.
It's a browser. It's server. It's WINDEV. It's Android and it's iOS.
So Andy, maybe that's your answer.
Yeah, the team over there, the TDF team, said that it works equally well in all three environments, which is freaking awesome.
Yep.
Just nothing else, but that's just awesome. They solved a big problem that I was running into trying to get it in 3 environments. So I appreciate it more than you can imagine. Of course, that means I get the pre-release of English version as quickly as possible.
Go with the French, man. Well, live daringly.
Yeah. So yeah, just to reiterate that, if you buy your license now, you will get the French version and then the English version when it comes out. Okay, so let's quickly look at, while we're at controls now, so we looked at the control which allows us to create MDI multi-tabbed windows. We looked at the map control, and now let's quickly look at the spreadsheet control, which is for me the other big selling point. So if we just also again drop a spreadsheet onto the window, that's it. So let's quickly run that. Now there's no coding behind this. We will have a look, and we've got our ability to add data, and we can obviously add this data programmatically as well. Now let's say, for instance, I want a sum here of what I've got there. So I put my mouse there, equals, open brackets, from there to there, close bracket, and accept it. And there's my sum. So formulas, we've got some FAA. I haven't set up the FAA for this now, but let's quickly look at this. One of the things which I found, which I cannot do, is to multi-select some of the stuff. But as this is still first iteration, I expect that there's going to be some things we can't do and some things we can do. I haven't also been able to find, and maybe it's my problem, of how to take a cell and drag its contents over by incrementing it or moving a cell's contents from one cell to another cell. but from a spreadsheet point of view, this is brilliant in my books.
Ben, can you tell me if it's dependent on Word being installed or any other thing, or is it all internally to
No,
PCSoft?
it's all internal to PCSoft, not dependent on anything else being installed.
And as another question, work in WebDev as well?
I suspect not. Let's quickly look at it. Tableur. WINDEV only.
Shucks.
But normally what PCSoft does is they introduce it into one development environment, and the next version, it's got it in the rest.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm very, very happy with this.
Well, I'm happy they got it in WinDev. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let me quickly mark off here. Okay, so anybody that wants to use the French version of the PCSoft products, there is a way to go and change your code by converting it between English and French. And obviously, if you open your help file in Google, you can convert your help file from French to English. And get a 99.5% correct translation, which is typically for English. Then there's another thing is obviously anybody that decides to run the French version of the product, I don't think we should expect support on that, as our understanding of French and their understanding of the English version not being released yet. You know, you're basically doing it on your own. So it's basically just for the very adventurous, which would go here. It can become a big taker of your time when you need to spend it somewhere else. Okay, so we've quickly...
You mean they're not waiting to support me if I got the French version and saying, what does this mean?
No, I'm sure they will support you. But the support might be, please learn French and ask the right question.
That is true. That is probably true.
Yes, but actually French is not all that hard. Just ask Jerome; he speaks it fluently, so it can't be all that hard.
Yeah, that's true. I'll get my Rosetta Stone in the mail soon.
Forget the Rosetta Stone. Just use PCSoft. You'll learn quickly.
Okay, so those are the three controls I'm going to show today. And we're already half an hour into this webinar, so I'm going to move along. Okay, the next thing which I'm going to show is actually the Hyperfile Control Center, which has had a very nice makeover. And as you can see, when it starts up, you can already see that they're starting to use this, let's call it menu bar at the top. Which seems to be something which is going to standardize across their products, and it looks very nice. So we've got, I'm going to just do something here on my side. Okay, sorry, not that one. We're going to go in there. And what you will notice immediately is that they're taking the tabbed interface into all of their other products. If you look here at the top left, you will see there's a drop-down menu, and then at the top across there's a tabbed interface. So if I go and I open up another data, I got another database there, and I can switch between the two tabs, one being the server's properties and another one another database. And if I go to another database, it's there again. I can switch between them. And once again, I can drag it out of that environment and work with it in a MDI type of environment. Now, I haven't figured out how to get it back in there again, so I just have to close it and go and do it again. So we've got this tabbed type of interface here. Then we've got our toolbar at the top, which is the ribbon type of interface. And then we've got our controls down the side. You can see the way that these things are working. And if we go to the configuration, then we still have everything else that we need. Yes. Somebody wanted to say something?
Not really, but
Okay,
it's very responsive, the whole thing.
It's very, very responsive. Let's quickly go here. Here's a
Is it a local
database
server
and
or remote server?
okay, this is local. Unfortunately, I'm not going to try and do that with a remote server now, especially as we are streaming this webinar.
Ben, Mark Polycarp said you just have to drag the title bar back to the pane. He sent that chat message.
Okay.
A few moments ago.
Let's quickly look there. Okay, maybe I'm not seeing the pane here because I've zoomed in so much into my environment. Okay, but obviously that's something which will then work. Okay, thank you very much, Mark. Okay, let's quickly go and look. While we're at this, I'm going to go and look at a remote desktop. It might not work as I'm connecting via satellite connection going to Europe and then via underseas cable back to South Africa. Let's go connect and this might take a little while. The client is sitting a few hundred kilometers from me. Okay. What I'm getting here is obviously the reason why we don't want to do this over a webinar. So let me just get rid of this.
I wouldn't worry about it. As a beta product, we always have to manage to at least crash anything once.
Well, the good thing is,
we can't be programmers without it.
Yep, the good thing is I've never ever lost anything from a crash.
No, I never have either.
So I don't mind it crashing once in a blue moon because I've never lost anything from it.
Yeah. And
which
it's not necessarily PC soft that causes it crash. I guarantee you that. I've seen everything crash.
100%.
Yeah, MS SQL's crashed on my machine right now. IDE.
Okay, so what that was a connection from my PC going to Europe via satellite, coming back to Africa via underseas connection, and then going to a client via our only service provider called Telkom, which gives us just about a max of 4 megabits per second download speeds and 20 kilobits per second upload speed.
That's if you're lucky.
If you're lucky, yes. So I'm very, very pleased with what I'm seeing from the products. I've got no issues with it. Now, if we go and open an example here, and I did open some earlier. Let me just go there. I think it was this one. You will see that they've taken all the old examples and they've created them over and they've run them again. I've been playing it around in the background. Now see, there's a little map that comes up there in the WebDev site, so you can see the same map that runs in Windows is also running in WebDev. There you can see the map, and you can switch between the different things. It's not a very good example there now. Let's quickly get there. And I've just dumped it here on the side.
That was my question. I wanted to ask if you just dumped it in now.
Yeah, I just dumped it there on the side. So if I go and create a new map, let's quickly go and create a new one and dump a map in there. There we go. And if we go and run that, there we go. There's our map. Once again, centered on France, and the same code we can use to get to it, like we did with the WINDEV. And I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to do the mobile one now, but this is answering Andy's question partly of, is the map control available on WebDev and WinDev Mobile as well? There's also obviously, it is awesome. I've got quite a few websites that needs to use this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go back to the HyperSQL Control Center. So I love the interface. I love the speed. I love the fact that we don't have to sit and wait for the product to come back with a result for us. We can start working with it immediately. You will see that if I go in and I go into different, let's go into one that I know has got some data in it. And if we go to that, you can see at the top I've got all my tabs for everything I've been busy with. So I don't have to worry about closing one tab to go and do something else and then coming back and it's gone. Like, for instance, running queries, going back and seeing what's happening, going back to the query, modifying it, and whatever, you know. Okay, so that's the Hyperfile Control Center. Very nice interface. The next one, which has had a major shake-up, is the Project Management Control Center. And it's gotten its own, what do you call this thing?
Dashboard.
Dash panel. Dashboard. It's got its own dashboard.
As a note also, the team said there's another new functionality on that other one. You can create multiple queries.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
Okay, so there we go. We've got obviously our dashboard, which we can play around with, and we can enable and disable certain gadgets in the dashboard. Let's just get out of this, and then obviously the rest of it is the same and also not. There are some work that's been done on it. But everything's starting to get the dashboard and the ribbon toolbar. So PCSoft's been very busy. They've been very, very busy, guys. It looks to me and the team, the TDF team, can confirm this or not, that they're actually what we call eating their own dog food. They're using some of the controls which they're giving us to create some of the interfaces they're giving us for the development environment.
Yeah, the TDF team just said exactly.
And that is great. That's awesome. I love that. Okay, so that is all I'm going to present on 20 from now, other than the fact that it's available now. People can go and play with it. I've imported some of my bigger projects into it and compiled it and run it with no adverse effect. So I'm not saying there's no bugs in it. What I'm saying is it's good enough for me to play around with and get familiar with it and become excited about it, and can't wait for the English version. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's a great look at that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ben. That was great. I don't see any questions in the Q&A module. Jerome or Mark, do you have anything? Or Glenn or Wolfgang, anybody, before we shut this down?
No, I think Ben gave a good one.
It was,
Okay,
yeah, it was excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, and as always, this
be good at it.
Yeah, and this video will be on YouTube shortly. The video quality does seem to improve after it's been on YouTube for a number of hours. So thank you very much. And the last and final words are yours, Andy.
Be good or be good at it, guys.
Cheers.